Hello, Musto0063 back to continuing with Not Another Needle game, and this time we're going to be tackling Stage 8, which is, I hope anyway during this Let's Play, still one of my favourites by the end of it. Yes, we've got some nice gravity kind of switching going on, and basically this is going to be the gimmick for the entire kind of stage, but don't think it's kind of limited to what you kind of see on screen at the moment, and I'll talk a bit more about it when we kind of come to it. And as we go through the stage, the text at the top will kind of tell us a little bit more about the mechanics of it as it kind of progresses. But as you can probably no doubt see, that was irritating, that the red kind of gravity with the up arrows you can kind of see here mean that you get a higher jump. And the blue ones mean that you get a lower jump. So as it says there at the top of this screen, normal gravity times 1, high gravity 1 times 1.75. So basically in this blue high gravity, the kid falls at a far faster rate. He feels incredibly heavy. It's very similar, I guess, to the bit I would have showed off in the catastrophe screen. Damn. Of I Want to Kill the Camellia 2. I think that's an appropriate comparison. But yeah, basically the kid feels very heavy, and yeah, the high gravity is really kind of taking into effect. It's probably one of the more awkward of the gravity, just because it's something that when you kind of do gravity sections in general in these kind of these types of games, or indeed standard kind of console games or whatever, it always tends to be kind of low gravity. It's a kind of in effect. I would cite a lot of the Mega Man games kind of around that. Whenever you've got something like this, I'm thinking like Starman stage of Mega Man 5, or I'm sure there are lots of others that I can't quite think off the top of my head. But whenever there is something like this, it tends to be that your jump is a lot higher. But this one obviously is the opposite, and it's a bit difficult to get used to. And as you can kind of see, this last jump here is a little bit of a pain. I hate these kind of jumps, although the ones right at the bottom anyway, with the kind of one spike sticking out, or one spike facing left and one spike facing right. But when you factor in low gravity, it's a little bit more of a pain, but it's not too bad. And here we can see that normal gravity is, well, we knew it was 1 because it said so on the previous one, but low gravity is half. So we've basically got double the height of our jumps in regular gravity. And there's going to be lots of kind of intricate weaving, as you can kind of see, not just on this stage, but on lots of other ones. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, this stage as a whole, and we haven't even, we certainly haven't seen the end of the. Whoops, that was too high a jump. The end of the kind of the gravity gimmicks anyway. So we've seen high and low, and yeah. But before I go on, just in case I make this jump, the area that I'm kind of facing to the left now. You kind of think you would take a breather in there when you first do it, but of course when you realise that the gravity there is normal, you'd have no chance of getting out. So you just need to make sure you do that, clear that all in one go. And this is the first of multiple gravity mazes that are going to be in this. Come on, make this first jump, please. In this stage, and it's a bit of a tricky one because you need to be very careful not to touch, at least in this first jump, which is possibly, or certainly at the moment, I'm going to save a bit further back so I can, no, it didn't work, you have to do that, so I can just clear this thing a little bit nicer. But yeah, the tricky bit on this bit is making sure you don't, for the first bit anyway, don't hit the blue high gravity, or indeed pretty much anywhere. You've got a lot of tight jumps to make between platforms, and you need the low gravity kind of working in your favour. So if you touch the high gravity area, your jumps are obviously going to be really low. So kind of what you need to do for this bit, or that second bit, if I can get back up there, I'll try and demonstrate. The first jump is annoying enough, and actually it's probably one of the harder ones of the thing, at least for me anyway. Is not fall off the edge like that, terrific. But yeah, you'll probably want to try and be almost as close as you can to be to the right-hand edge of the ledge, and then you're going to want to jump hopefully as far over to the right as possible, so that you can then get you can enter the red area and get obviously a higher jump, a bit like that. But you probably saw the way the jump kind of works there. I got a lot more height, but I still didn't quite get far enough over to the right to reach the platform. But I wish I could do this first jump just a little bit better at the moment, because I'm not getting very many goes onwards. But yeah, it's really tight, and as you can see now, I'm making the first jump and then hitting my head on the second spike. There we go. Now for this one, you're going to want to, I'm going to have to kind of do a few kind of practice ones just to get myself into the swing of things, and I think I've got it. Going to kind of want to obviously loop round the blue low gravity, so that you get. That was incredibly far over to the left, and I was never expecting to get that far over to the left. Hence why I completely screwed up. But if you can get, if you can get. See, I'm so nervous about hitting the flipping spike. If you can get the height with the low gravity in the red, then you can make that jump reasonably okay. But obviously you've obviously got to loop round the blue high gravity area, and now with low gravity, in effect, you just need to kind of make sure you make your left movements count there. You don't want to mess around pigeon footing anything. You just want to kind of make sure when you set off that you kind of hold left as pretty much as far as you can. Obviously be careful not to go so far that you end up on a spike if that's a danger, but yeah, don't hold back on the direction button there. Whoops, that was terrible. This one is kind of teaching us all about the low ceilings, and that you're going to have to be very careful with your kind of loop round jumps, I guess, a bit like this first one. And yeah, there's obviously very narrow paths, and the low gravity obviously means we can get through okay. But yeah, a bit like I just did there, which was rather annoying because that was close to the end. Yeah, you don't really want to be hitting your head on the ceilings here. It's unavoidable, I guess, at certain points. So and that's fine, provided you kind of made a small, a bit like I did here or here. Provided you've made, or not making a really stupid mistake at the end of it. But yeah, provided you've got enough distance. Oh really? Then yeah, you can obviously still hit your head and be fine, but yeah, you can obviously still want to get as much distance as possible. And damn many spikes. That's what's causing me the problems. So yeah, out of a whoops. Oh no, this one again. Yeah, I was kind of doing that all wrong at the beginning. So what you need to do there is, well, let me demonstrate. Not kind of just rush straight for the ledge. You kind of want to make sure you've got a high jump, as high as you possibly can, by kind of yeah, jumping, yeah, as high as you can within the normal gravity area, and then kind of moving off to the right. If you try and just make it or just pelt full speed for the ledge, you'll find the high gravity, means that you won't make it. But I'm still having huge problems, and I've not quite still got the rhythm down. But yeah. And yeah, I'm either just too far over, not far enough over to the right, but still. Hopefully you get the idea of what I'm saying there. I'm still rather clumsily demonstrating it. I think I've got it a bit better now, but yeah, still rather clumsy. Yes. And obviously for that last bit, again, make sure you get the height from not being in the low gravity area. And this is quite an interesting thing, and quite interesting stage. And yeah, you definitely want to read the bit at the top there, which kind of tells you, I guess, a rule about how the kind of the gravity works. You can obviously see an area here. This is a bit difficult to describe at this bit. It's more probably a bit more appropriate later on. But yeah, if you're kind of in an area where there is both high and low, or just on like the precipice, then the high one overrides the low one. So make full use of the low gravity where, sorry, the high gravity where possible. Yes. So this isn't going too bad, as I hoped it wasn't, as I hoped it wouldn't, because I really do like this stage. Now this one, the first jump is a little bit tricky. Obviously make use of the, whoops, low gravity, and I think this is kind of one I kind of get the impression of, yeah, I really perhaps shouldn't be hitting my head on the block there. So hit the switch, and now you can go over here. To be honest, you probably could have gone in there anyway, and I'll restart because it did say something about picking up some interference, and you may have noticed some glitching. So I suspect that you can probably, well, almost certainly get through that gap to the right without hitting the switch, and that's because you're supposed to, if you want the secret, go through what looks like possibly an even tighter gap, although it might be absolutely symmetrical, so I might be completely just wrong on that. But again, my eyes are not the best. But yeah, basically you need to do the exact opposite, pretty much, on the left hand, or exact same thing. Sorry, the opposite, the exact same thing on the left hand side when the spikes switch. And remember the low gravity. Oh, remember the high gravity, low gravity. I'm getting confused now which one's which. But anyway, yeah. Ignore the fact. Sorry, ignore. Remember that you've got slightly more floaty jumps, and yeah, not jump so high you hit your head on the spike. I am really hoping there's nothing to do with pixel aligning going on here. So this time I've rubbed up against the right-hand wall, and of course I really stupidly jumped into that spike. But yeah, the gap obviously between the two spikes is fairly narrow, and I imagine you could probably get through normally. And that spike is really irritatingly placed, although I am being a complete idiot by continuing to jump into it. I should probably make my double jump slightly further over to the right so that I'm not directly under the damn spike. I'm hoping that will be a safer tack, although it does mean I've got more of a kind of a loop to make with the jump, but still. Yeah, I'm hoping this is nothing to do with pixel aligning or anything, because this could be just an irritating waste of time trying to do this. Let's see, let's rub up against that left-hand wall. See if that makes any difference. Of course it might not anyway, because I can just obviously just die. I mean, that one had no chance of getting through, no matter what wall I rubbed up against, or didn't, since I was way too far over to the right. But yeah. Ah, there we go, fine. So, okay, that didn't take too long. So yeah, I will cut it there, and once I've got the secret, I'll be back, because I've kind of done with all the ones. This is a really nice, fun secret. I really do like this one. It's a bit long. The screen, it goes on for about 3 screens, there and back. And you can probably see, well, actually I won't there. I can collect the damn thing to start off with, but of course I've got no way of surviving. So yeah, it's a very long-winded one, but it's a really fun one. So yeah, I will do this, and I will see you back on floor 149. Just as I predicted, that was a lot of fun and quite easy actually. That only took about 10 minutes or so to clear both, well, it affects 6 screens getting there and back, having to do 3. So yeah, that was a load of fun and so much easier than some of the other ones. Yeah, I really like the secret in that one. So let's progress onwards a little bit more. And cherries, apples, who cares? Always an issue of contention. I tend now to try and say fruit, although I must admit, I try and make a conscious effort to say fruit, but in my mind they're kind of cherries. So if I do kind of slip up and say, or not necessarily slip up, but if I do say a particular bugger, if I do say a particular one, then it will be cherries over apples. It's just what I've always kind of thought of them as. And obviously we're just dealing with kind of a bit of a, well, I wouldn't really call it necessarily a maze section, I suppose, because it's not exactly that kind of filled with the fruit, but another kind of a fun one actually. The top half is probably just that little bit, I'd say maybe easier than the bottom half, because well, I don't know why. I prefer the effects of the kind of the low the higher jump than the lower jump, but yeah, there's just something about the not randomness of the bottom section with the high jump and the low gravity, but yeah, this is just a little bit more awkward for me. Although having said that, I'm probably now gonna do it. Yeah, fine, no problem. Step 1, reach the goal. I bet you can guess what step 2 is going to be. And for this one, again, it is quite tight, so you can kind of maybe try and see the spike in, but the two spikes I'm aiming in between to get to. Can't quite make it at the moment. I'll tell you what, I'm just gonna stop in the middle now. I think I'm gonna have to. I think I'm gonna have to make this one further over than what I can manage at the moment. But doing so is easier said than done. Okay, let's. That should be doable if I was at the very kind of right-hand edge of the spike, and if that is easily doable like that, then that's probably the best way for me to do this, because at the moment I'm not really getting anywhere near the spike after this, which is where I was trying to get into at the beginning. But maybe I'm going to have to, because I can't quite seem to get the requisite distance. But in trying to get in that little area to the one spike further over, I'm obviously jumping into the spikes on the ceiling. So that's better. Right, finally got it. Now I really do not want to screw up here, but I imagine I possibly will. No, I'm not. Good. Yeah, step 2, get tricked, but fortunately the going back is a lot easier than going there. So now it's another a new gravity, I guess. Although not quite for me, because I've done it in the in getting the secret. But as you can kind of see here with the pause button, that's kind of going in the gravity, we've got a slow mechanic. You can probably guess what that means going forward later on. We might get one more type of gravity thing. But yeah, the slow one can be quite awkward, and yay for combining it with the button mashing glitch through the platforms on the ceiling. Although that wasn't too bad. That jump there over the 2 mini spikes seems to be what's causing me the most problems at the moment. But yeah, mini spikes again. I think because I'm not kind of moving far enough over to the right, and of course now I say that one's not causing me too many, or now I say that's causing me problems. I get by that, and I'm getting stuck by the mini spikes on the other bit. So yeah, this last jump is kind of annoying because you've got to get way over to the right in order to make the jump. Getting back into the normal gravity, and yeah, it was kind of predictable, I guess. But yeah, fast speed. Oh, I didn't say what the slow speed was. I think it was 1. So normal speed 3, and that works perfectly with my thinking in terms of the pixel alignment kind of thing as well. And that the kid moves 3 kind of pixels per movement normally. So yeah, slow is 1, and fast is 6. So yeah, double speed or double the distance or whatever you want to, however you want to think of it. For the fast one, and the fast one can be quite disorientating. Again, I like being able to kind of take my time to kind of take things slow at my own pace. So the fast one is probably one of the more awkward ones for me to get used to. Although again, it's probably the one, along with the low gravity, where you get higher jumps, that other games will tend to employ. A fast mechanic as opposed to a slow mechanic. So while the high gravity, i.e. low jump, and the slow speed take a little bit of maybe getting used to begin with, I still find probably this one. I might have said earlier on that I've maybe found the damn, I forgot what I needed to do there. The high gravity, probably one of the more awkward ones, and that's certainly true, and I would also put this one in that category as well, but that one's done. And that probably was about the time for about 20 minutes. I'd kind of timed it at about 6 minutes after I got through the secret, so I shall probably leave it there. It's just about over halfway of stage 8, so we've got 8 screens left, and I'm still looking forward to it. As I say, I really like stage 8. Another gravity maze coming up, but yeah, stage 8 is awesome fun. So yeah, hope you'll join in for the second half of Stage 8, hopefully through to its completion, next time. Cheerio.